So welcome back to another rebuild here on NBA 2K25 Next Gen. In today's video, we have the Milwaukee Bucks. I think at this point, it's a pretty fair statement to say that last season in Milwaukee was a little bit rocky, to say the least. Now, obviously, made the big blockbuster trade last September, dealing away Drew Holiday, acquiring superstar Damian Lillard, and on paper, the Bucks should have been a lot better than they actually were. Of course, took a little while for them to get settled. They made a coaching change midseason, and then there was just a whole lot of injuries. Ended up as the 3 seed in the playoffs with 49 wins, and then the injury bug, man, it just absolutely killed this team. Won 49 games, were the 3 seed, then lost to the 6-seeded Pacers in 6 games. So, I think a lot of people heading into this season aren't really giving the Bucks, really fair credit for just how good they are. I think Damian Lillard, with a full offseason behind him, now in Milwaukee, hopefully that chemistry with him and Giannis is at an all-time high. I think a lot of people aren't crediting the Bucks nearly as much as they should be. So we'll talk a little bit more about that once we get into this video. Our goal today, hopefully go back to the way things kind of were in 2021, get this team another championship. And as always, let me know any other rebuild ideas down below in the comment section, whether they're normal rebuilds, rebuild challenges, series ideas, whatever you guys really have and really want to see, let me know down below. Of course, I've mentioned this in every single video at this point, but my goal before the actual NBA season tips off is to finish all 30 teams. So that is a, lofty goal, if you will, but I fully believe that we can do it. I want to thank you guys for all your support so far through 2K25. It has been fantastic. So excited about this one today. Let's hope you guys can all enjoy it as well. Let's get into it. Now, when we think about the Milwaukee Bucks, we're obviously all aware how talented and how special Giannis and Dame are as a duo. The complementary pieces of Chris Middleton, Bobby Portis. There's a lot of guys on this team that really are going to have to play well for this team to really be up there with some of the true, top of the top teams in the East. And it feels kind of funny saying that considering the Bucks were just a 3 seed. But I guess back-to-back first-round exits in the last 2 years will kind of do that to you. So what I really want to discuss right now, and we're going to do this once we go over the roster here in just a second, I think a lot of the pieces that are maybe a little bit younger on this team are really going to have to step up and kind of find their roles with this group if this Bucks team really wants to make a deep playoff run, because they have the star power. There is no doubt about it. Giannis, 29 years old, 97 overall. Damian Lillard is here. Chris Middleton is an absolute bucket when he needs to be. But I think a lot of the younger guys that we're going to go position by position and discuss a little bit really have to find themselves a role, if you will, on this team. So excited about it. I like the Bucks offseason. Obviously didn't make a big home run addition like Damian Lillard was just 12 months ago, but they are in a position right now where I think a full offseason is definitely going to benefit this group. So let's start here talking about Damian Lillard. Obviously, had spent the entirety of his career in Portland. Never really did the best job in the world, if you will, surrounding him with the most competent core. Obviously, he made a Western Conference Finals once, and that was pretty much it in terms of Dame's success in Portland. So, I'm excited to see him, with a full offseason under his belt, hopefully working on his game with Giannis. He is still absolutely incredible. I think an 89 overall rating is actually a little bit disrespectful, if I'm being completely honest. I think he should be around a 91, but that is neither here nor there. We're going to hopefully get him a championship in today's video. DeLon Wright is here. He's 32 years old, and while I do think he's a solid backup point guard option for year one here, I do not really necessarily see him in any sort of long-term plan. So we'll kind of go on a year-to-year basis with him. We head over to the shooting guard spot. I thought Garrett Trent Jr. was an absolutely underrated pickup, right? He ended up not going back to the Toronto Raptors, ended up signing what is basically just a minimum contract here with the Milwaukee Bucks. And I really think at that age, him only being 25 is kind of flying under the radar, I think, right? We don't know what his full potential is. Of course, we kind of know what his, niche will maybe be on this team, but I'm excited to see Garrett Trent Jr. on this team, with Giannis, with Dame, obviously a lot of other pieces around him as well. You got Pat Connaughton. He's been here for a little while now. He's 31 years old. Obviously can still be a pretty important shooter. At times, I'm not really sure what to expect from Pat here today at that 74 overall and at that 31 years old, but we will see. AJ Green is here. He's somebody I feel like I always end up trading for just as a contract filler here in 2K, so we'll see. And then AJ Johnson is their first round pick this year. I'm not really sure. Is he actually 160 pounds at 6'5"? Damn. All right, he's 19. Now, I know 69 overall isn't necessarily anything to get super excited about, but if by year 3 he can maybe be in the mid-70s, there could certainly be a role for him with this group. So we'll keep an eye on that. We head to the small forward spot, Chris Middleton. I'm telling you, there's something about Chris Middleton. When you need a big bucket, I feel like Chris Middleton is the guy you want the ball. Right? I don't know. It's just something in my head is Chris Middleton. If I need 2 goddamn basketball points, I want him to have the basketball. Right? It's just, I don't know. Taurean Prince, I thought, was another nice addition. Obviously played last season with the Los Angeles Lakers. Ended up signing with the Bucks, very similar to Garrett Trent Jr. on a relatively minimum contract. And there's not a lot of risk, but I think there's a decent amount of reward to pay off with a deal like this with Taurean Prince. So excited to see what he can do here. Obviously, Marjon Beauchamp as well. Only 24. That 73 is a little low for my liking. I would like to get him into this rotation at some point. Certainly there's a lot of depth now here at this small forward spot. We're not even talking about Andre Jackson Jr. And I think there is, something here at this small forward spot outside of Chris Middleton. So that is certainly something we'll figure out. The power forward spot, I've spent a lot of time talking about Giannis and just truly how incredible he is. People just do not bring him up for whatever reason as one of the best players in the world anymore. And I don't really know where, that disrespect is coming from, because when you watch the guy play, it's so obvious and it's so evident just how good and how talented he is, how much of a physical force this man really is. So people just want to sleep on Giannis. I guess maybe the back-to-back first-round exits, and we're not even talking about the injury part of it right now, is maybe the reason for that. But I don't think it should be. I think at the worst, he is a top 3 player in this sport, and I fully intend to go out and prove that in today's video. Bobby Portis Jr., I know there was maybe a little bit of rumblings, if you will, about him potentially being a name that could be moved this offseason. Of course, that did not end up happening. I know how much Milwaukee just completely loves Bobby, and I'd like to hang on to him. Obviously, a really solid kind of 6-man candidate here for us today. Chris Livingston and Tyler Smith are both 69 overalls, and while they're certainly not the highest overall in the world, if one or two of them can end up developing, maybe they'll be nice role pieces. In the center spot, Brook Lopez, maybe a little similar to Bobby Portis. A little bit of rumblings about a potential trade, of course, did not end up getting moved, and he is going to be in Milwaukee for this upcoming season. So I'm not honestly sure what we're going to do with Brook. It's obviously a really good idea to have a center that can space the floor next to Giannis, but at 36 years old and a 3-year rebuild, it's just probably not going to be till the end of time. So we'll certainly keep an eye on that. We may have 1 or 2 trades. I don't know if it'll be anything major, though. Our first trade before we kick off year 1 is going to be a relatively useless swap. Now, it's not useless because we are getting a position of need, but I don't necessarily love going out and trading for guys who are 7 years older than the player I am trading away. But ultimately, AJ Green was really never going to get significant minutes here, and we are certainly in the market for a backup center. So Cody Zeller, although on a multiple-year deal, 32 years old, 73 overall, I definitely don't love it, but it is a 1-for-1 swap. And we do not give up any draft picks. So I considered, a little bit, I guess, looking at some of the younger pieces potentially just as trade options, but decided that I wanted to kind of hang on to them and see how the development went. So, yeah, we are not going to be making any more trades before year 1. This team is obviously kind of on 2 ends of the spectrum, right? There's only like so many guys that kind of fall in that like middle range, like 28 to like 32. It feels like everybody's like really old or like really young. So let's set that rotation. We are ready to kick off year number 1 in Milwaukee. I don't really think there's a lot of surprises 1 through 5. Bench unit is pretty much as you would expect, and let's take a look at it, dive into it. It is Damian Lillard, Gary Trent Jr., Chris Middleton, Giannis Antetokounmpo, and Brook Lopez. Now, I am a little nervous about Lopez, not really because of his play style, more about his overall and his age, because he will be entering unrestricted free agency this next offseason. And although I'm not going to let him walk out the door for nothing, I am a little bit nervous about that, payday that could potentially be coming. So we'll see. Going to keep an eye on that. We have Bobby Portis Jr. here as a 6-man, DeLon Wright behind him, Taurean Prince, Pat Connaughton, and Cody Zeller. So, if I'm being completely honest with you, this bench does not excite me too much. I would not consider it an elite bench unit at all. We have a really solid 6-man option. And then after that, it does certainly fall off a little bit. So, I know there's a lot of things we kind of talked about in terms of fits, maybe with Prince and Connaughton and guys like that. But what I'm really thinking about is maybe some of the younger pieces here, like Andre Jackson, not even Ryan Rollins really as much, like Beauchamp. I want to get these guys minutes because I want them to develop, but unfortunately, there's just not really a spot right now. And I'm not going to take away from, a team like this that has better players on the bench, because ultimately, as much as you might not want to believe it, this is and should be a contending team next season. So giving our best guys the minutes, hopefully the younger guys can, I guess, develop a little bit, and we'll just kind of go on a year-to-year basis. So this will be the first full season under Mr. Doc Rivers. Of course, people have varying opinions about him, and I am excited to see what Doc can do. So excited is the game right now, and hopefully that works out as a successful season. I'll see you guys at the end of year 1. The first season comes and goes, and it was an interesting one, to say the least. We end up with a record of 48-34. Of course, I guess last season, technically, in real life, they went 49-33. So we are 1 game worse. But I don't know. I don't feel as bad about the team for some reason. Luka's your MVP, Reza Shea, Rookie of the Year, Men Thompson. These awards year 1 are pretty much always the same goddamn thing. Jason Kidd, 65-17. The game really likes the Dallas Mavericks. All right, let's get into it a little bit. Standing-wise, we ended up as the 4 seed. So, they were the 3 seed in real life last year. They are the 4 seed this year. And we're going to have, who is it? Oh my God, I'm all over the place. It is the Philadelphia 76ers. It is Monday. That is why. Wow, in a 2-team 65-win conference. That is insane. All right, let's go over some of the numbers real quick. Giannis was absolutely incredible for us. 25 points a game, 11.5 boards, about 6 assists. Damian Lillard, really solid second season here. Chris Middleton, Bobby Portis Jr., Gary Trent Jr. Yeah, it appears that Brook Lopez has, taken a step back, and that's not really the biggest surprise in the world, just considering how the team is kind of built around him and ultimately his age, and that's going to be a position that we're certainly going to look at and maybe making a change this offseason. But we do have a playoff run coming up. It is going to be us and the 76ers. Of course, the Sixers had a very busy offseason themselves. They somehow added Jordan Clarkson here today, and they're playing Andre Drummond at the power forward spot, so not really sure I like any of that, to be honest with you. All right, let's get into it. Quickly split the first two on our home floor. Win game 3 on the road and game 4. Okay. Don't blow a 3-1 lead. Okay, thank you. Wow, and the 8-seed Cavs knock out the 1-seed Pacers. Here's a look at the Cavaliers. Garland, Mitchell, Okoro, Mobley, Jared Allen. Isn't Isaac Okoro, technically still a free agent right now? Which is kind of insane that I'm saying that while we're in September, almost mid-September. Let's do it. We are down 2-1. Stu tied up at 2-2, go up 3-2. Game 7. We win. And now we are in the Eastern Conference Finals. It feels good to be back. We are taking on the New York Knicks, of course. They also had a very busy offseason. They added Robert Williams somehow. Okay, whole lot of depth here in New York. We obviously are all very much aware of that. And can we just give them a challenge right now? That's all I'm going to ask for. We are down 2-1, down 3-1. We get bounced in 5. All things considered, that is not the worst first season in the world. It is something I can certainly work with. And I think that is certainly going to be, I guess, one of the bright spots so far throughout the course of this video. So let's do it. LeBron James, Kyle Lowry, Al Horford, whole lot of names here. Russell Westbrook as well. Sad, sad stuff, man. We are going to go ahead and consider really all of our options at this point. We'll head up to the draft lottery where I know we don't have any draft picks or anything, but we'll sim through it anyways. Jazz, Rockets, Wizards, Spurs, and Grizzlies as your top 5. And now it is Doc Rivers time. Now, Doc Rivers, I'm not going to completely shit on the guy for a first season. I mean, he picked up the team pretty much halfway through. And from there, it's tough, right? I mean, you don't really get to install any of your own stuff, and you do, it just takes some time. I'm going to give Doc another year. And if we, put together an even better team next year and the product on paper at least isn't significantly better, then we'll obviously make a decision about his future. Because I'm not a huge Doc Rivers fan, to be completely honest with you. Now, we have 2 first-round picks to work with. It's certainly not a lot. We're not going to be drafting anybody right now. That is something we will keep in mind. Middleton, Portis, Connaughton, all going to be, Middleton and Portis entering unrestricted free agency. Connaughton picks up his option, and we will bring back Beauchamp as well. So, couple big free agents here for us. There's no doubt about it. And we just got to go ahead and pay our guys pretty much this part. Bobby does have 2 offers. Looks like the Bulls are making him a significant offer, but for some reason he's more interested in the Sixers. Yeah, I can't lose Bobby, so let's just pay him. And then we're also going to bring back, or I say bring back with air quotes, I guess, Brook Lopez. Certainly a sign-and-trade candidate, and it's just a reality of unrealistic rebuilds. Then, of course, probably the most important out of everybody here, Chris Middleton. So we get those 3 back. I'm also certainly interested in bringing back Gary Trent Jr. We are not going to bring back DeLon Wright or Taurean Prince, but just in a position right now where, we kind of have to make these decisions, and we want to bring, all these guys back, but how many of them are actually going to be impactful pieces moving forward, given their ages, situation, money they're making, all those things. So we definitely have at least one big trade coming. We have found our first major deal of the offseason. It's going to be a trade with the Los Angeles Clippers, and it is going to land us Ivica Zubac. Now, we're sending out Cody Zeller, Brook Lopez, and Chris Livingston in this deal, and ultimately we're getting a center here in Zubac who's 3 overalls higher than Lopez, and he is 9 years younger. So it makes all the sense in the world to me. I understand some people don't like the, sign-and-trade aspect of it, if you will. I know I just paid Lopez, but it was either now or I could have just done it before year 1. So Zubac, welcome to the team. Excited to have him here. And then I also went ahead and made another move. I moved Bobby Portis Jr. to the center spot as well. Overall, didn't move at all, but he will remain likely my 6th man off the bench. And then I'm actually going to try to get Tyler Smith a little bit of playing time here behind Giannis. Of course, Giannis at a 97 overall is going to eat up the vast majority of the power forward minutes we have to offer anyways, and I do want to develop some of the young guys anyways. So that is good right now. We now have to figure out what we want to do with the backup small forward spot. Of course, there's not really a huge reason to keep both of these guys here, and I do want to maybe consider an upgrade at the backup shooting guard spot, and we do need to find ourselves a backup point guard. We're hitting up the Utah Jazz, and we're going to see if they're maybe willing to deal us Colin Sexton. Now, Colin Sexton at an 81 overall is expiring on about a $19 million contract. We're offering up Pat Connaughton, Marjon Beauchamp, and A.J. Johnson in this deal, and all for kind of varying reasons. Now, you'll understand my thought process in just a minute, but I do want to first see if we can possibly get a trade agreed to. Now, I want to try to hang on to Tyler Smith and Andre Jackson. Well, my thought process is this. Jackson has another year of team control, which is kind of the real reason, and then I do want to hang on to Gary Trent Jr. as well. So I would be willing to go up a first, and that's actually all it took, which is nice because that is an upgrade here, and it'll also allow Gary Trent Jr. to move to the bench, which I think he can still be an impactful piece. So ultimately, the only thing we have left to do is find ourselves a backup point guard. I have signed Scottie Pippen Jr. before. I actually got him in yesterday's video, so I will, I guess, try not to do that right now. I'll go with Jalen Noel, just because I'm trying to get somebody who's still relatively young. But Scottie Pippen Jr. is certainly on my radar moving forward in future videos. But Jalen Noel could be the guy for now. Hopefully, he's willing to come here on a 2-year deal. He is, and now we have a new 10-man rotation for the start of year 2. As we approach the start of the second full season here in Milwaukee, something that is jumping out at me immediately and that I am, I guess, maybe a little bit worried about is just the regression that we're seeing from some of our guys, most notably Damian Lillard and maybe a little bit in terms of Chris Middleton. Dame obviously down to an 86 overall. He started off this video at an 89. That is really just the age thing. It is nothing to do with the season he had last year because it was a fantastic and very Damian Lillard-esque season, compared to how he's pretty much always performed. So, I'm not really sure why 2K has always been that way, but they are, and it's just how it is. So, Damian Lillard, Colin Sexton, Chris Middleton, Giannis Antetokounmpo, and then Ivica Zubac is going to start over Bobby Portis Jr. I fully understand that I opened this video by saying it is a good idea to have a big man next to Giannis that can shoot, even though Giannis' shooting has certainly gotten better over the years. I still do think having a center that can space the floor is a good idea. Obviously, Ivica Zubac is not necessarily known as a center who spaces the floor. We are working with what we got and the assets that we had to make a deal happen. So hopefully it works out well. At the end of the day, it is just 2K, not real life. Bobby Portis Jr. will be my 6th man off the bench once again. You brought back Gary Trent Jr., Jalen Noel, Andre Jackson Jr., and then Tyler Smith. Good to see that overall going up. So that is what we're working with in terms of a 10-man rotation. I do think the team is better than where we were last year. Hopefully just the regression doesn't kill us too much. See you guys at the end of the second season. Much better second season for us here in Milwaukee. Now, Luka does win another MVP, but more importantly, we go 61-21, which is obviously by far our best record yet, and hopefully putting us in the driver's seat here in the Eastern Conference. Cooper Flagg, your Rookie of the Year, he is in Utah. James Harden is now a Charlotte Hornet, and he is your 6th man of the year. Wemby wins another DPOY. Alex Sarr, most improved. Kawhi Leonard is your Clutch Player of the Year, and 61-21 for the Doc. He is your Coach of the Year. So I'm feeling good right now. Obviously, we are at a point of this video where I wouldn't say, wow, 58 wins in Charlotte. I wouldn't say it's make or break, but this certainly may be our best chance. So I want to take full advantage of that and hopefully go out and capture that championship. Here are the numbers all across the board. We see a little bit of regression here from Damian Lillard in terms of the points per game. The shooting splits are still fantastic. He was 43% from beyond the arc. He's 50-40-90 and wasn't even really a sweat. So Dame's still obviously doing his thing. Chris Middleton, Colin Sexton was a really nice addition to the team. Bobby Portis, Trent Jr., Zubac, Noel, Smith, and then Jackson Jr. Rebounds were led by Giannis, and assists was Mr. Lillard. So we are the 1 seed. First round is going to be us and the Celtics. 2K hates the Celtics. I'm not really sure why. I certainly don't. I love the Celtics, but I do not really want to face them here because they are a lot better than a playing team. And we lose the first 2 on our home floor, do win 3 and 4 on the road. That is big. Win 5 on our home floor, and now we're going to Game 7, and we thank God we win that Game 7. Okay. Now moving on to the Indiana Pacers. They were the 1 seed last year, if you remember. They ended up losing as the 1 seed last year in round 1, and they've added Jalen Suggs. I'm not really sure how they were able to do that, but they were, and I'd like to beat this team. I would like to get some revenge here on the Pacers, and we're up 3-1. We end up winning. Once again in the Eastern Conference Finals, of course, this is where our season ended last year. I'd like to advance past this. And yeah, I'm not really sure how this team won 58 games or whatever it was. Look, LaMelo's certainly fantastic. Brandon Miller's coming along nicely. They do have Harden there, but I don't really think this team scares me too much, to be honest with you. I actually think I was more afraid of the Celtics and the Pacers. So in the NBA Finals, it is us and the Minnesota Timberwolves. Of course, we all know damn well how much this game loves Anthony Edwards. Oh, shit. Jimmy Butler went back to Minnesota as well. Looks like they traded Karl Anthony Towns, and they landed Jimmy Butler. Okay. I'm nervous. I'm not going to lie to you guys. Up to a good start. Up to 1 to 2. Oh, boy. Not exactly great. We're heading back here to Minnesota for what could be our last game of the season, and we come out not so great. Not so great, and we are, just at the point of this video where about as disappointing as it possibly could be. Wow. Anthony Edwards, your finals MVP. 68.5% from the field. Has anybody ever done that in the finals through 6 games? Like averaging, 30-plus points? It's ridiculous. Okay, well, that is disappointing to say the least. There's no way around it. We have obviously, gotten about as close as you can without actually winning the damn thing. So our goal now is, I guess, to just give it one more. Wow, Denver was that bad? Wow, that's a surprise. It's hard for me to say I should fire my head coach because he did just lead us to the finals. We had a 2-0 lead in the finals. And then, of course, it all came crumbling down. So, I'll look at the candidates. I mean, obviously, you got some pretty big names here. Popovich is even here. Damn. It's hard because this isn't even, at this point, it's not really even about Doc and the job he's done so far. It would legitimately just be about the possibility, of getting Stauffer or getting Popovich. And, it's kind of a do or die situation. So I'm going to go after him. I'm going to fire Doc Rivers, and it's really not because of the job he's done. I thought he's done a pretty good job, honestly, so far, given the way the team has been. But I have to win a championship. I have to give it my best effort. I highly doubt Popovich is going to come here, but even Stauffer would be fantastic. And then I guess I'll just throw Jason Kidd an offer too if he wants. Hopefully somebody accepts. All right, we're going to get Stauffer. Popovich and Kidd are not interested in coming here, but obviously getting the perfectly 5-star rated head coach is going to hopefully help us out. So now we approach the draft. We have the 2nd overall pick in round 2. I'm not going to draft anybody. I'm going to try to draft somebody in, next video. I know I haven't been drafting guys in a lot of videos recently. So qualifying, Kessler Edwards, no thank you. We now approach free agency. And it's really just Colin Sexton, who, of course, we're going to be interested in bringing back. So, yeah, man, it's weird. We're in a weird spot right now because I do think the team's good enough. We obviously went and proved that last year, winning 60-plus games, being up 2-0 in the NBA Finals, and then we just choked it away, man. So I may have 1 or 2 trades. I'm not sure there's anything crazy big coming, though. Oh, my God. Big blockbuster deal has gone down with the Sacramento Kings. I was not planning on it, and then I thought it maybe could happen, and then it did happen. We landed ourselves Domantas Sabonis. Now, we certainly gave up a lot to get him. Well, I wouldn't even say we did. I mean, of course, it sucks losing a really solid 6-man option in Bobby Portis. But other than that, we basically kind of got Sabonis for not too much. So I'm obviously super excited to have him here. He has an A- 3-point rating, so maybe he can space the floor a little bit better next to Giannis. Wow, he was 42.5%. Wow, that's insane. At this point, I think it is just maybe about finding a couple new backups to come off the bench. Of course, we do have to look at some new backup big man options. I think a guy like Kevon Looney obviously has some championship experience. Wouldn't be the worst thing in the world. And then the point guard, Tyler Kolek's in here? Oh, sure. Sign me up. Okay. Beautiful. Welcome to the team. All right, well, that was a little bit unexpected. I mean, of course, 25 years old, only entering his 3rd season in the league. Just interesting. I'll take it. All right, at this point, we're just going to kind of go for it. I also considered maybe a Chris Middleton trade. Of course, his numbers haven't exactly been elite like maybe they once were, but that's also just a factor of the team getting a little bit better around him. So this is it, man. Excited to have Sabonis here as well. We know damn well that's going to be a little bit more regression from Damian Lillard, even if it maybe doesn't deserve so. But I will see you guys at the start of the 3rd and final regular season. 2K now believes Damian Lillard should be an 82 overall. Oh boy, we are in a position where I'm nervous because clearly Giannis is still incredible. Of course, picking up Sabonis is absolutely huge, but we're just seeing regression from him and Middleton, and there's really not a reason for it outside of his age. The numbers wouldn't necessarily dictate that many overalls should have gone down between the 2 seasons we've had so far, right? He started out this video as an 89, which I still think is too low. I think he should have been around a 91 to kick this thing off. But no, we're now down to an 82, and I am hoping the numbers can still be as good. I want to get Dame a championship. That's, I guess maybe the reason I've kept him here the whole time, and he's obviously incredible, but I'm nervous, and I'd be lying to you if I said otherwise. So him, Sexton, Chris Middleton, Giannis, obviously this bonus edition is hopefully really going to be a big X factor. Gary Trent Jr. takes over for Bobby Portis as the 6th man off our bench. Nice progression from Jackson Jr. along with Tyler Smith. Tyler Kolek, our backup point guard, and then Kevon Looney rounding out the 10-man. So, yeah, that is the new team, all under Mr. Mike Stauffer. I got to change that to a 10-man rotation, and here goes nothing. I'll see you guys at the end of year 3. First time I've seen Wemby win an MVP so far throughout 2K25. It is always cool to see somebody outside of Luka doing it. We went 63-19, so I guess those nerves that I had with Damian Lillard's regression, I guess, can be put to bed, at least for now. Cameron Boozer's your Rookie of the Year. He is an Atlanta Hawk. Reed Shepard, your 6th Man of the Year. Wemby is your Depoy. Hugo Gonzalez, Most Improved. Cade Cunningham, Clutch Player of the Year. And Popovich, They won 66 games there in San Antonio. Would have been nice if he was interested in coming here to Milwaukee, but I guess not. Okay, we do take the 1 seed here in the East. It was the second best record in all of basketball, and now our one and only goal so far, for I guess throughout the remainder of this video, and what has been only our goal throughout the entirety of this video has been to win a championship. So there are the points per game, there are the rebounds, and wow, Sabonis, good addition. All right, 1 seed once again, us and the Miami Heat. You got Jordan Poole, Tyler Hero, Jaime Jaquez, Jeremy Sohan. Very, very interesting team there. Obviously, Jimmy Butler departed, but they're still pretty talented. So we're up 2-1 right now. We go up 3-1, and we get it done. Moving on. We are now taking on the Orlando Magic. They make me nervous. Austin Reeves is an interesting addition. I don't know why they always... Oh, Jalen Suggs was on the Pacers. I was like, where's Jalen Suggs? They always let Jalen Suggs go. It's very, very weird because he's very, very good. 2-2. Go down 3-2. Go into Game 7. Win Game 7. Wow, that's huge. Now it is us and the Pacers. Of course, we have a pretty, I don't want to say storied rivalry, but we certainly have some history with this team here, especially in today's video. So here goes nothing, man, in the Eastern Conference Finals. We quickly go up 2-0. 3-0. We sweep the Pacers. We are now moving on to the San Antonio Spurs and MVP Victor Wembanyama here in the NBA Finals. It is Bones Highland, Stephon Castle, Keldon Johnson, Jalen Williams is here. Oh, boy. This is going to be a tough matchup. There is no doubt about it. Up 2-1 right now. 2-2. 3-2. Game 7. Fuck. That might have been our chance. Don't come out flat like this. Come on. Dude. Fight. Oh, my God. Look at that fourth quarter. We're cursed. We are cursed, and that's the... What? Ew. Oh, God. All right, man. Disappointing ending. Obviously wish we could have got it done. I'm not solely going to blame the 2K bullshit with the regression on, the reason it didn't happen, but I'm certainly not going to say it wasn't a factor. So, we put together a pretty good team. Of course, it was obviously sweet adding some bonus to this team. And Bucks fans, I'm sorry. I thought we built you a pretty competent core, and injuries didn't ruin anything, obviously, and we just couldn't get it done. So I failed, and that is on me, and maybe we'll revisit this down the line. So hopefully you guys still enjoyed. As always, let me know any other video ideas down below in the comment section. And yeah, man, I've been enjoying 2K25 so far. It's taking a little getting used to, some of the new menu layouts and the new, I guess, options, if you will. It's nothing crazy. It's just the small things they change every year. But, I've enjoyed it so far. Outside of the regression bullshit, which is certainly a slider I may have to tweak with a little bit at some point. So that's it for me, man. As always, thanks so much for watching. I love you guys. I'll catch you guys all in the next one.